Because if you
Absolutely.
don't, and escrow accidentally sends the funds to your personal account, guess what? Game over.
Here's one question, Brett, is
Sure.
you don't have any pending litigation, but you mentioned there are some, firms out there that do. So maybe where is one of the breakdowns that happened on some of those transactions, or walk us through a kind of a scenario where it wasn't done correctly, or a pitfall that happened in those transactions, and how to avoid those.
Yeah, great question. So one of the ones in particular, it's called a monetized installment sale. And in fact, if you search Deferred Sales Trust, it'll pop. They have a website, and they pop up, right, and they say side by side. They say, "Don't use the Deferred Sales Trust. Use us. Here's why." And they're like, "Wow, this looks like it's just like the same thing, but they give all this other flexibility, which is amazing." And the biggest thing that we have found when we studied it, and why we don't provide it here at Capital Gains Tax Solutions, is the fact that they say, hey, 93.5% of the funds up front are just, here you go. We're going to get this bank to give you all the cash and do whatever you want with it. And we think that's constructive receipt. In fact, part of what an installment sale, the essence of it is not putting the actual funds in, let's say, Logan's hands. But of course, it's attractive to go, oh, I can get all of it up front, and I'll just pay this, 6.5% fee at closing, and then I'm just free to go wherever I want. And that's the part where we go, we think that's taxable, actually, Logan, right? Kind of like if you think of like a 401k or an IRA, like, right, what do?
Sure.
You forego taking those funds in your personal account and you put it into this other tool. And until you start receiving payments, do you actually pay tax? Well, that's the same thing with the Deferred Sales Trust. We're doing 100% into the trust and not to you. So that the foundation of the structure is what's called constructive receipt. By the way, this is also a way the 1031 exchange to be very cautious. You want to make sure you set that up before close of escrow, because if you don't, and escrow accidentally sends the funds to your personal account, guess what? Game over. It's too late. It's taxable. You can't just send it to a QI company now and say, whoa, I'm still in my 45 days. No. It's over. You just lost. You've gone down the wrong road there. So the key is keeping the funds outside of your taxable hands, so it's not constructive receipt. So that's the biggest one there. But again, I think for farmers, it definitely works, right? Because this was set up for farmers. So if you're a farmer, I think it could be a good solution. But most of the commercial real estate owners that I work with and business owners, they're not farmers. I don't know, maybe in Kansas City, there's a lot of farms out there. There could be. There is. But you just got to be very cautious. And even more than that is, does the attorney stand behind their work, right? If you're going to go get ACL surgery, I got 2 ACL surgeries playing basketball at college. And I asked the surgeon, who's going to, who have you helped? And they go, well, I've helped some of the Sacramento Kings, people like Chris Webber. Oh, okay. Well, if Chris Webber said yes, I'm going to feel pretty good, right?
Absolutely.
So, and you actually did the surgery? Yeah, I actually did the surgery. Okay. So wasn't an intern? No, it wasn't an intern. Okay. Excellent. So you want to make sure that professional is rock solid.
Yes. 100%, man. Absolutely agree with that. If it's like the Amazon and Google effect, when they pick a new market to go into and build a new headquarters or a new facility, you just see the spider web effect kind of, on the outskirts of that. All of the real estate around there, businesses start moving there. It's the same thing here. If somebody's already used a certain provider and they did the due diligence to go through that, that's a good indicator that it's a good vendor to work with and a good partner to kind of hang your hat on.